For that. Joining me now is Massachusetts Congressman Jake Auchincloss, a Democratic member of the House Transportation and Infrastructure and Financial Committees, Financial Services, I should say. He is also a U.S. Marine veteran. So, Congressman, welcome, sir. I'm glad to have you here. I want to start by playing part of an emotional video that you tweeted on Tuesday night following the deadly shooting there in Uvalde. Let's take a look.
I find that I've got hate in my heart tonight. I despise the organizations and the politicians who allow this to happen. This slaughter is a policy choice. The Senate needs to vote on common sense gun safety legislation tonight. And we need to disband the NRA and take the fight to the enablers of this daily slaughter.
Is there a way, sir, to disband the NRA? And if so, how would that change gun politics on Capitol Hill?
We must pursue the disbandment of the NRA by all means possible. Litigation, money, membership. New York State has pursued the dissolution of the NRA on grounds of corruption. That's been stalled, but we need to find other approaches. We've got to go after their funding streams. The NRA doesn't care about the Second Amendment. The NRA cares about money. It cares about funding the profligate and corrupt lifestyles of its executives, of buying off Republican politicians just to wield power. And finally, we've got to go after their membership. More than 5 million strong in the United States makes them a very strong primary bloc in Republican elections. We've got to start naming and shaming those organizations and those individual members. We're talking about an organization that is hosting a party in the backyard of a school shooting before 19 students and 2 teachers have even been laid to rest. Is this really an organization that people want to be a part of?
Yeah, they talk about being a weekend of celebrating freedom. What about the freedom of those who want to go to school and come home safely that day? Let's talk about a new article. This is from the Washington Post, sir, in which it says that the NRA has weakened, but gun rights drive the GOP more than ever. It says the organization has been embroiled in the lawsuits and infighting for the last 4 years. It's reflecting what you're telling me, by the way, taking a toll on its standing and budget in Washington. So what power does the NRA still have over lawmakers, and how does it sway influence over some citizens?
Money and primaries. They have GOP politicians bought and paid for, and they wield a vocal minority in Republican primary elections that make GOP politicians afraid to take common sense votes that are supported, as you have said, Alex, by a majority of Republicans, Democrats, and gun owners.
Right.
We know what Congress needs to do. First of all, it needs to get back to work. They are having burials in Texas, and members of Congress are in our districts. We need to get back this week. We need to vote on a red flag law. We need to vote on a safe storage law. The Senate needs to vote on background checks, and we need to put a federal assault weapons ban on the floor this week and show Americans who stands with student safety and who's afraid of the NRA.
Congressman, you signed a letter calling on House leadership to take that immediate action to combat gun violence. And there is a bipartisan group of senators that's working right now trying to find a common ground for a bill that would address guns. What measures do you hope Congress will pass in the wake of this tragedy? And the operative word there is pass, sir. What do you think can get done?
I'm not hopeful that anything can get done, to be candid. It's why I'm so furious and why I'm directing my ire at the NRA, because so long as that extremist organization has a grip on the GOP through money and through its primary elections, I think no GOP politician will have the courage to do the right thing. We know the legislation to pass. Again, it's red flag laws, it's safe storage laws, it's ammunition regulation, it's an assault weapon ban, it's background checks. These save lives in states like Massachusetts. We know it empirically. Countries the world over have demonstrated it. Republicans want to say, oh, this is a mental health problem. Mental health problems exist the world over. The United States is unique in that 300,000 students since Columbine have experienced gun violence firsthand. The Republicans want to say, oh, the answer to a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Well, 19 good guys with a gun stood in a hallway outside of Robb Elementary School classroom for 48 minutes and 100 rounds fired before they breached that door.
With regard to the Republicans that you say they lack the political courage to get something done, I am curious as to why. Are there powerful positions in Congress? Is that more important to them than implementing a common sense solution? Are they intimidated by constituents who are maybe going to come out and criticize them? Or do they not care or not even see this as a problem? I don't know which of these prospects is worse, but what is it?
I think some of them are genuinely extremist on this issue, but I think the majority of them, including, by the way, Senator Ted Cruz, are actually just scared. They are absolutely terrified of the NRA. They're terrified of the money that can be wielded against them. They're terrified of the membership that can be mobilized for a primary challenge on their right flank. It's the same fear, Alex, that we saw on January 6, 2021. Most of those politicians who voted against certifying knew that the election has been free and fair, but they were afraid. And I'll tell you, fear is a poison in national politics because it's inhibiting the elected representatives of the American people from saving lives.
A sobering statement right there. Entire conversation, in fact. Massachusetts Congressman Jake Auchincloss, thank you, sir, for your time and your efforts. Come see me again.